Lone Peak football on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com, brought to you by Heidemann and Associates and presented by G2G Bar. Mark Winterton along with Jacob Hatch in tonight's contest as the Lone Peak Knights coming in 2-3 to face this tough Pleasant Grove 5-0 team.
Well, beautiful night for football, Mark, obviously. Beautiful sunset as we look out across towards Utah Lake here at Pleasant Grove High School. But as you mentioned, Lone Peak off to a 2-3 start this year. Like, stunning, frankly, to see them below 500, but just as stunning to see Pleasant Grove 5-0 on the year.
Well, and I think you have to look at that the schedule strength, too.
Sure, I would agree with you on that. But still, Lone Peak, halfway through the regular season to be below 500, that is baffling in many respects.
And they're coming off a huge win at Highland
they went
down
to
in
Highland
Arizona.
And won,
As Pleasant Grove won the toss, they deferred to the second half. Lone Peak will receive, and this kick going, of course, out of the end zone. As Lone Peak now will take the field. I got our captains for the game. For Pleasant Grove, number 1, Bronco Winterton. Number 2, Sean Cottle. Number 3, Christopher McCoy. And I can't remember the other one.
That's okay.
But for our Lone Peak Knights, it was Matthias Nawahini, Jaden Mayberry, Brooks Wild, and Misi Patani.
Okay.
As Blake in the gun. Actually, this is not Blake. It's a give to Wild. But that was Isaac Staley at quarterback.
Staley getting the start tonight. He's been the backup all year long. Hasn't had the most impressive stats. He's 11-26 on the year, but interesting to see him getting the start. Wonder if Jackson Blake picked up an injury at some point.
You know, I only talked to Brockbank for just a quick second, as I spoke mostly with Coach Wild, talking about Brooks, as he's definitely put on
here's
some muscle.
You're gonna hear me use the term tonight. He's running wild. He's just that type of a running back. So
it is Brooks, born to be wild.
I like that too. Yes.
Staley with the QB keeper, and he'll pick up a good 6 yards on that play. It's going to bring up a 3rd and short.
Great
for the Knights.
Great carry there for Isaac Staley, obviously. Called QB run from the get-go, QB power to the outside, and he picked up 5 yards before he even found contact there. So great job by that Lone Peak offensive line. Obviously, Austin Pay out there at left tackle leading the way.
Well, this game brought to you by Heidemann and Associates. They're a flat-rate law firm that's completely focused on you. Get a free consultation by calling 801-472-7742 or go to utah.law to find the office nearest you. Here's that important 3rd down for the Knights as Staley looks to pass, releases it. That was intended for Robinson, incomplete.
Yeah, that one was fired high and wide, and you just can't do that as a quarterback. You got to give your wide receiver a chance to catch that one. That was not where you wanted to put that football because Trey Robinson's their best receiver. Put it in the vicinity where he can bring that down in bounds.
And so that'll bring out number 92, Kate Daly. Daly, 6'6" punter.
Is he trying to rival Ryan Rico at BYU?
With the height?
Yeah, Ryan Rico's 6'6".
Daly's punt low, but it gets a good night bounce.
Checked up pretty nice.
Decent. Into PG territory for this one.
Well, for our first look upcoming at this Pleasant Grove offense, Carson Rasmussen, their dual threat quarterback, really has kind of been the main cog in their offense. He's passed for 754 yards on the year, 11 touchdowns to 1 interception. Really impressive numbers there. But more importantly, he's also a leading rusher on the year, 341 yards with an additional 8 touchdowns on the ground.
And so in the backfield, Aiden Franson. And I thought it was interesting that the 2 running backs are both listed as tight ends.
They are.
It's a quick pass from Rasmussen over to Clark. And Clark, good enough for a first down.
Nice quick out route right there to Clark. And they go quick. This offense does not waste time.
Rasmussen trying to get the defense to jump. Looks like he's going to call an audible on this one as it's 1st and 10 from the Knights 40-yard line. He'll put Franson to his left and a release across the middle, caught, and that Sean Cottle good for 6 yards on the play.
Yeah, nice job firing that football in there by Rasmussen. That's not an easy pass to make, and he made it look easy.
So it'll be 2nd and 4 here for the Vikings.
By the way, Cottle taking that down in traffic. That's pretty impressive. Two guys right on him.
Well, yeah, and then hanging on to
yes,
it, right?
Yep, taking that contact.
Rasmussen gives to France and immediately hit by this Knight defense.
It was Ashton Nickham, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Arrington was also in on that.
No, it was Arrington. Excuse me. It was Arrington. Jackson Arrington. You're right.
Arrington, I want to say he had 2 pick sixes last week against Highland.
Yeah, they had 4 as a team. There you go. Quick 5 yards for Pleasant Grove there. Lone Peak's got to be more disciplined along that defensive line. I can tell you, I'm guaranteeing that Coach Denny is going to be talking to his guys about that. You got to stay set.
Well, so it makes it 3rd and 10, going to 3rd and manageable here. As Rasmussen in the gun. And he is going to call an audible here. Very aware. And again, trying to get that defense to jump. Get the easy first down. And he'll release. And it's a quick slant. That is number 6, Mackay Peterson, for the completion. First down.
Mackay Peterson, one of the better athletes on this team. Nice slant route there. Nice delivery by Rasmussen to fire it in there.
And so down to the Knight 24-yard line. Rasmussen in the gun. 8:20 left to go here in the first quarter. Dual receivers here to both sides. And Rasmussen will look to pass. Going to scramble out of that. Big hit. And he just keeps on his feet. 5, touchdown. Does he get in? Does he get in?
It is touchdown.
He reached for the pylon.
It's touchdown. Carson Rasmussen took 2 major licks on that touchdown run. Bounced off of both of them. Didn't even phase him one bit. Gets to the outside, gets a block on the outside, and runs in for the first touchdown of this game. What a play by this dual threat quarterback.
And now he'll get set up to hold for his kicker, Parker Hall. And Hall's kick is up. It looks good. And Vikings strike first. 7-0. We're back after this quick break. Football right here on Rewind Sports, KSLSports.com. As Lone Peak Vikings, the Pleasant Grove Vikings strike
Lone
first.
Peak Vikings? Wow.
Did you like that?
Okay, there's some parents out there that are going to be sending some hate mail. Send it to Mark Winterton, not Jacob C. Hatch on Twitter. I don't want it.
Rockwell Doman to kick.
Send it to Dusty Litster.
Yeah, do that. Doman's kick. That is a line drive out of the back of the end zone. It'll be a touchback. And the Knights will start on their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, one of the more understated storylines is obviously Isaac Staley getting the start here. I have not seen Bot Mulatalo either for Lone Peak, so injuries may be taking their toll on this Knight squad.
Well, Bot was the one I was excited to watch on defense.
Absolutely incredible player. Pass rush nightmare. We watched him against Corner Canyon. He was just absolutely dominant against a fellow Division I prospect in Paxton Nagel. Absolutely incredible to watch him do his thing.
I felt like he kept him in that game for the first half.
He was balling out, there's no doubt.
So Staley in the gun on first down, and he'll look to pass. He's got time, and he'll release this one. Incomplete pass intended for number 7, Logan Hofheinz.
That's a ball. If you're going to run that route, it was a late-breaking double move up the sideline. If you're going to throw that ball, you've got to get it up to where the receiver's at. You can't throw it behind. You got to have Hoffheinz trying to come back and get to it. That makes it easier for the defender to just stand his ground and defend that pass.
No, and Hoffheinz had his man beat.
Yeah, you just got to get that ball out there, though, because that was an underthrown football. You cannot underthrow that ball.
7:51 left to go here in the first quarter. Staley in the pistol. And he'll give to Brooks. Wild will maybe get a yard.
Great job by that Pleasant Grove defense, just forming a wall there. Very nicely done.
And I expected him to get have Wild basically kind of the part of the plan from the get-go, and they've only – is that his first run?
That was I think so. Matira Brown, by the way, one of the guys leading that charge on that last tackle. There were like 6 or 7 Vikings waiting for Wild as soon as he got that football.
And so it'll be 3rd and 9 here now for the Knights. And Staley releases. It is knocked incomplete, intended for Trey Robinson.
Yeah, that was a tough play there, but a great pass break up there by number 7, Gabe McCoy, one of the star corners for this Pleasant Grove defense. I got to give the Vikings credit. They are feisty. They're a feisty bunch out here.
I just realized something.
What's up,
Jake? Carson Rasmussen, I believe, quarterback for the Pleasant Grove.
Uh-huh.
His dad was quarterback for my high school team.
Out at Union?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. There you go.
Yeah, he's sitting right here. His parents are right there.
Oh, all right then.
When I saw his parents come in, that's when I realized that. As Dally will punt this one away, end over and backwards. So not a great kick.
I think that may have gotten partially touched. I don't know if it was a full block, obviously, but that just came off his foot weird.
Well, so far, Pleasant Grove having great field position.
Yeah, and they've been absolutely dominant on offense so far. They just moved right down the field in that first drive. Now they're on the plus side of the 50, on the 45 going in. I wouldn't expect anything different from Rasmussen and company right now.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, again, I don't know if it was his brother, that actually played for Union last year at quarterback. Okay. I'll have to chat with his dad here at halftime. As Carson will keep it. So Rasmussen on the keeper, and he's tackled by Jaden Mayberry. Bring up 2nd and 6 now for the Vikings. Here at the Knight 41-yard line.
Nice QB keeper there by Rasmussen, fooling the defense and picking up nice yardage.
Well, the last QB keeper ended in a touchdown, so this one a quick pass over to number 6, Peterson. And Peterson may pick up a couple.
Good job there by C.J. Rubel and the Knights defense, just kind of building the wall there, not letting them advance any further. Pick up about 3 yards, makes it 3rd and 4, 3rd and long 3. Having a hard time with the sun in our eyes here at PG.
Yeah, we'll go 3rd and 3 here. Rasmussen again in the gun.
Look how shallow Lone Peak's defense is right now, Mark. They are expecting a run here. There are no safeties deeper than 5 yards off this football.
Yeah, Nawahini's the deepest guy,
yeah,
and he's a defensive back over on the
far
side.
And he's the corner, and now he steps up, yeah.
And a quick pass complete for a first down to Sean Cottle.
Okay, here's the thing. If you're going to run that press defense, you can't have a corner back up like that just happened with C.J. Rubel. Rubel's got to step up and go man press on that to avoid. That's an easy first down conversion every single time on that slant route.
So on first down from the 31-yard line, it's a give to, that is their other tight end, Matt Morris.
Tegan Towell coming from his defensive end position to get the tackle for loss there. Great job by him knifing through to make that TFL. We've got a official
timeout.
Yeah, an equipment malfunction for a Lone Peak play. Looks like Jaden Mayberry being sent off to the sideline.
4:52 left to go here in the first quarter as this game, of course, brought to you by Tire Factory, Point S. No stress with Point S Tire and Auto Service. Tire Factory, Point S in American Fork. Proud sponsor of Lone Peak football.
Well, this is the first time we've seen Pleasant Grove behind the sticks so far in this game. Let's see how they do.
Rasmussen with Morris in the backfield, and it's a give to Morris. Morris will get a couple yards back. So it'll be 3rd and 10 now for the Vikings.
Yeah, Junior Tahi making the tackle there. Great job by him from his middle linebacker spot.
Imagine we're in 4th down territory here, Jake.
And this, well, it depends on, I don't know what their kicking situation is, but yeah, I would imagine it's 4 down territory. Trips to this near side. We'll see if they do something funky here.
That is a pass completed.
Great
job. Peterson.
Yeah, Matthias Nawahine coming up from his corner spot, just chopping him down. I am giving him a chance on that tunnel screen action. That's a great job. Matthias Nawahine is one of the better defensive backs in this state. He's really, really good with his reads. We've got a flag on the far sideline over there.
Brockbanks.
He ain't happy about something.
He's ineligible receiver down.
That's a very good point. Actually, good catch by Coach Brockbank. That pass, if it goes beyond the line of scrimmage, your lineman cannot be more than 2.5 yards downfield. And Pleasant Grove had a couple of guys that were far deeper than that.
And so that'll bring up 4th down here.
And you're right, it is 4 down territory, it looks like. Wouldn't be surprised to see a hard count here and try and pick up an easy 5 yards.
Peterson in motion. And it's Rasmussen in trouble. The defense all over him. He just has to throw this one away, not a receiver in sight.
That should be intentional grounding.
I don't see a flag. I think he got out of the box.
That was close.
I'm going to give it to him, Jake.
That was close. It's 4th down, so it's no harm, no foul. But still, that one, as a quarterback, you got to have a receiver somewhere in the vicinity letting that go.
And so the Knights.
Big break for their defense. Great job by Lone Peak. Brett Denny, their defensive coordinator, Ryan Denny, not Brett Denny. Brian Denny, the defensive coordinator, one of the best in the state, dialing it up there. Very nicely done on that blitz to obviously bottle up Rasmussen and force the throwaway.
Ideal Kitchen and Bath. Do it once, do it right. Sponsoring Lone Peak football as Staley all alone in the backfield. Quick pass. Complete to Robinson for about 2 yards.
Pick up with 2 there, but that ball, if you notice, was thrown to the outside. It needs to be thrown to the inside on that to give him a chance to, because he's running an in-breaking route. You don't want to throw it to the outside. He had to adjust his route. Obviously, that negated any potential pickup in terms of yards after catch.
You know, it's funny because every now and again I'll run across people I went to school with. West Jordan quarterback a couple years ago. Went to school with his mom.
Okay.
As Staley on the QB keeper, and he'll lose 2. That'll bring up 3rd and 10 now for the Knights.
And a great job there. Looks like number 8, Tuala Wolfgram. Great job by him getting that sack there and obviously forcing a 3rd and long situation. I guess the PA guy calls him Tua Wolfgram, but I was told it was too loud. So,
well, it is too loud. I just shorten his first name.
Yep.
As the sun now will finally go behind that mountain, we can see a little better. Staley pump fakes, and he's going to keep it, and he'll pick up a few yards, 6 to be exact. That'll bring up 4th and 4.
Yeah, tucked it and decided to see if he could pick it up with his feet, but Riker Mickelson coming up and laying a nice hit on him to negate any chance to pick up that first down, and it'll force Lone Peak to punt it away for the third time in this game already.
Yeah, here comes Dally and Christopher McCoy back to receive for the Vikings, as we've already had, three possessions now here for the Lone Peak Knights.
Correct.
1:16 left to go in the first quarter. Not a whole lot going for the offense of the Knights. As this, finally, Dally getting a nice punt. And it's fielded as he is tackled about the 27-yard line, I think is where they're going to mark this one.
Good job by the Lone Peak special teams, obviously making sure that he didn't get any chance to return that kick. Our angle where we're calling this game from, it's hard to kind of tell depth perception on that sideline. That punt was kind of angling towards him. Like, is that going out of bounds? But he actually hauled it in right on the sideline there.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings from their own 27-yard line. Their worst field position, starting position now.
They were at midfield the first one they scored the touchdown. They were at the 45. And
they were in Knights territory the second time.
Yeah, so this is, far and away their worst field position of the night so far.
Rasmussen in the gun. Cottle in motion.
Actually,
that was McCoy in motion.
Had movement on the interior of that offensive line is going to back him up 5 yards. Got to stay set as an offensive lineman. All right, another opportunity here for Lone Peak. Obviously, they had Pleasant Grove behind the sticks on the last drive. Were able to get out of it. The first drive, they never got them behind the sticks. That's going to be a big key, it feels like, in this game. Keeping Lone Peak, in terms of their defense, keeping them behind the sticks.
Rasmussen to pass. And he's flushed out of the pocket, but quickly brought down. About a 2-yard gain on that QB keeper.
Yeah, Joshua Empey among others there. And they made him pay for that run. He took 2 big blows on that play again. He's a hard-nosed football player. I'll give him that.
That's getting pulled down. He hits into another player.
He's taken some abuse already in this game. That touchdown run, I cannot believe the hits he took and bounced off both of them.
Well, that didn't even faze him.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, though. He just kind of glancing blows, it felt like, for him, and off he went. It was crazy.
25 seconds left to go in the first quarter, so this will probably be the last play of this quarter as Rasmussen looks to pass. He releases. It's caught. That is to Peterson.
Yep, good job by Nawahine driving on him, obviously, on that stop route, and stopping him short of the sticks. It'll be 3rd and short here.
They're going to run up on this line, see if they can get it off before the play clock. And they do not, and so that'll be the end of the first quarter. And we will be back after this quick break. It's Lone Peak football right here on Rewind Sports Network. KSLSports.com, brought to you by Heidemann Associates and presented by G2G Bar. I had my G2G Bar today. If you're looking for that healthy protein bar, a lot of protein bars that got a lot of processed sugars in them, whatnot. As this is Rasmussen on the QB keeper, not going to get anything. Loss of probably 2. And Lone Peak says it's a fumble, and they got the ball. And they did.
Yeah, C.J. Rubel coming up with that football in the end of it. That's a huge break for the Knights, obviously, putting them in scoring territory to start this drive. You got to take care of that football if you're Carson Rasmussen. That was a tough break, obviously. I didn't see who stripped it out, but a big defensive play for the Lone Peak Knights.
Well, especially they've struggled on offense for the last 3 drives. They haven't really done anything.
Correct, yeah, and this gives them a chance. There are 32 going in here. You got to be thinking, hey, let's go get something right now.
If they had their kicker from last year, this is automatic 3 here, Jake.
Mr. Garcia himself, he's serving a mission down in South America currently, committed to BYU.
And so Staley in the pistol. Running Wild, they lined up behind him. And it's a give to Wild as Wild will fight for everything he's got, and it's back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
is it.
Lucas Jackson, number 55, came unblocked on that play and had him dead to rights and just slowed him down just enough to allow his other teammates to come and clean it up. But a great play by Lucas Jackson. That interior, that Pleasant Grove defensive line, Levi Bezin over there, number 65, he is just an absolute mountain in the middle of that defensive line.
He's huge.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And Lucas Jackson ain't no slouch in his own right.
What do you got on him? Do you have his?
I'm going to pull up the roster and see if they got it listed for me.
Yeah, I don't have anything on this one. He's ginormous. You probably don't have his weight.
6'6", 315, and he looks every bit the part of it. I'm telling you, he is a mountain out there.
Second and 10, and it looks like maybe we got a timeout.
We got a timeout going to Lone Peak.
Timeout, Lone Peak. We'll take one as well. It's Lone Peak football right here on KSLSports.com as we coming back here. Second and 10 for the Knights. Staley had to go back to the sideline here.
Checking on something.
Yeah, calling audible. I'm not sure. Relaying the message here. 10:58 left to go in the second quarter. Staley in the pistol. That's Hoffheinz in motion. Little option given to Wild, and Wild's going to be tackled for a last loss of 3 on the play.
Yeah, great job by Riker Mickelson just coming up and making a solid form tackle in the backfield. Okay, that option play, if you're a quarterback, speaking of Isaac Staley, you've got to sell that hard. That was not a sell at all. He just pitched it out to Wild, and that gave Wild no chance on that play.
Well, yeah, you've got to either possibly know that you're going to make contact with
you've got to
draw him in.
Yeah, exactly. Riker Mickelson's like, okay, why would I ever respect you in terms of running that option? I'm just going to go to the running back every time now.
Right. You're not running it.
Yeah.
3rd and 13 here for the Knights. Staley will look to pass, and we got flags coming in. Dead ball foul.
Start. We had an early start there, it looks
offsides.
like. Oh, offsides. Wow. I thought we saw an early start from that offensive line there.
So offsides defense going to make it 3rd and 8, a manageable 8 yards here for the Knights.
Well, more manageable than 3rd and 13. There's no doubt about that.
This game brought to you by doTERRA. They're a proud sponsor of Lone Peak football. doTERRA's products help athletes around the world maintain the highest level of health and wellness. Learn more about how you can up your health and wellness game at doTERRA.com. They got their conference going on this weekend up at
drove by the last 2 days at the Delta Center.
All the doTERRorists.
The lavender smell has been pervasive.
They've improved those smells. This one complete to Robinson for about 5 yards.
Yeah, it's readily apparent that Isaac Staley does not have the same arm shape that Jackson Blake does. That pass took too long to get out there. But good job all the same by Trey Robinson picking up yardage and obviously making it 4th, where you can actually have a chance of picking this up with a 4th and a long 3, it looks like.
9:32 left to go here in the second quarter. Hoffheinz, Haskett, and Mayberry, the far receivers.
Wonder if they're going to play chicken with them here.
I don't know, a little. Oh, do we have another offsides?
Well, I saw Coach Brockbank walking up to the official, checking on things. Delay a game, yeah. It was like the play clock was running down there. I was wondering what they were going to do with it.
Delay a game, and this just takes those 5 yards they got back, making it 4th and 8 now.
Yeah, Coach Brockbank walked up to the official that far side and looked like he might be thinking about calling timeout. There's a hard count there, obviously trying to draw him off sides, but it looks like we're going to have a field goal attempt as a result here.
So number 22, this is Adam Connors.
47-yard attempt here.
And I haven't seen Connors kick a field goal. This one, it's deep enough. It looks good. It is as Lone Peak gets on the board. It'll be 7-3, 8:42 left to go in the second quarter. We're back after this quick break. As we're back, 47-yard field goal try there by Connors was good, and Lone Peak on the board here.
That gives props, Connors. That was a great kick, obviously, from the hash. You got to angle that kick, but a great job by him making it a 7-3 ball game here, giving Lone Peak's points, obviously. You needed to cash in on that turnover, and that's exactly what they did.
So now Connors to kick back deep to receive for the Vikings is McCoy and Mickelson. And this high can allow the defenders to get downfield as McCoy takes this one, and he'll return it up to about, they're going to put him at the 20.
Decent return there, but you're not wrong. That kick was extremely high. It looked like a punt almost, how much height that got on it. Obviously gave the kickoff team for Lone Peak plenty of time to get into position there and make sure that McCoy had no lanes to work with.
So it'll be 1st and 20 for the Vikings.
1st and 10 from
or
the
first
20.
Well, I like 20.
Hey, holding call.
First and 10 from the 20.
You get a holding call here. You can have that real quick.
So yes, Carson Rasmussen. Oh.
I'm not sure what just happened.
I'm not sure either. Defender
C.J. Rubel getting into it.
He gave him a good shove.
Yeah. We have a false start, and we got an offside.
Would you just call a false start?
And we got offsides on Rubel.
They're going to call offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Hey, let's make it 1st and 5 instead.
Yeah, wow, that was kind of crazy. You don't typically see a cornerback draw an offsides flag, but hey.
So Carson Rasmussen, his older brother actually was the starting quarterback for the Union Cougars last year. He graduated.
Gotcha.
And brothers here at Pleasant Grove, as he now is going to keep it. Makes a couple moves. He's got the first down. Rasmussen doing it with his feet.
Yeah, good job by him picking up that first down there. Jackson Arrington finally bringing him down from his linebacker spot.
So it'll be 1st and 10 here now.
Keep an eye on Junior Tahi down here on the near side. Looks like he may be setting up the blitz.
Franson in the backfield with Rasmussen. And Rasmussen looks to throw. Quick throw over to Cottle. Or McPeterson, sorry. That is Peterson for 5-yard gain.
Yep, now Wahine making the tackle there, but an easy quick 5 yards on that in route. Nice job there. Nice pitch and catch.
It'll be 2nd and 5 now for the Vikings. And Rasmussen hurrying things up. He's trying to get that defense to jump.
Well, they don't waste any time getting to that line.
I still haven't seen Bott out there.
Nope.
As he'll release this one. And Mawahini holding on to Peterson.
Yeah, that's going
to draw the flag.
Yeah, we'll see if the call is defensive holding or pass interference. I'm assuming it'll be pass interference here, but if Nawahine was beaten, he was not about to let that play go. The result of the play, the throw was not necessarily the most accurate, so in the retrospect, he probably could have let it go, but he was not about to get beat on that play.
No, you're looking, that's a touchdown there.
Yeah, so there's going to be pass interference, going to give him a first down yardage, and they're now into Lone Peak territory.
Rasmussen all alone, and now we get an offsides on the defense.
Can't do that if you're Lone Peak. You gotta stay more. You gotta stay on your side of the line there.
Pono Aquin coming up. Looked like he was on the blitz.
Yeah, he was coming up trying to draw Pleasant Grove offsides, but you just can't. You can't go across.
Rasmussen to throw, and it's a quick pass to Bronco Winterton. Winterton, 20, 10, touchdown Winterton.
Carson Rasmussen had a guy coming right into his face. He knew where the blitz was coming through, threw it to where that defender was not. Bronco Winterton's there, and Bronco does the rest, taking it in for 6. What a play, what a touchdown.
Well, Lone Peak is playing so close up on the ball.
Yeah.
They didn't have, again, there wasn't a guy
Junior
more
Tahi,
than 5 yards off the ball.
And Junior Tahi and the rest of those linebackers came on that blitz. Carson Rasmussen recognized it immediately, knew he was going to take the hit, fired it right where those defenders came from, and obviously Braxton Winterton was right there on the spot.
Extra point is up, and it is good. Pleasant Grove on top, 14-3, 7:29 left to go here in the second quarter. We're back after this quick break. To kick for the Vikings after the Lone Peak gets beat on that one. PG puts another touchdown on the board.
The Knights are proven so far in this first half, they're for real. There are a lot of people questioning that 5-0 record, but hey, so far they have looked the part.
And Doman's kick, line drive. He picked up about the 5, bringing it across the 15, 20. Robinson's to the 30, cuts back. He's got a block. He's across the 40. Kicker to beat, and he does.
He is gone.
30, 20, 10. It's Trey Robinson, touchdown, Knights.
Trey Robinson, what a return by that young man. He was finding all kinds of traffic, navigated his way through it. He baited the kicker into diving for him and then just took it to the outside. And at that point, nobody was going to catch him. 40 yards to the house at that point, and there you go. Lone Peak's right back in it with a kick return TD.
95-yard kick return there for Trey Robinson with 7:11 left in the second quarter. Connors comes out to add the extra point.
Well, that energized that Lone Peak crowd on the far sideline over there. The student section's going bananas.
Well, in high school football, man, special teams will kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess at any level, really. But
yeah, Trey Robinson, absolutely incredible job by him on that. Just finding the lane and then bouncing it to the outside. It was a great individual effort by him. But obviously, you got to give credit to his teammates for setting up blocks for him.
Connors' extra point up. It looks good. It is. Pleasant Grove 14, Lone Peak 10. We're back after this quick break. Lone Peak football presented by G2G Bar, helping busy people eat well when they are on the go. And that's exactly what I was doing this weekend. On the go, G2G Bar, with no processed sugars in them.
Proud sponsor of my radio station, the KSL Sports Zone as well. Appreciate their patronage. They are absolutely incredible. We have the clock have just gone down here at Pleasant Grove High School, so they'll be keeping time on the field apparently.
That's the second time it's gone off.
Yeah, before the game went down.
Connors' kick's going to go into the end zone, and so they will be a touchback.
So our
Mickelson.
apologies. Until that clock is back, we are going to have no way to be able to tell time.
Well, there was 7-11.
Yeah.
Nothing
there. So it'll be
Nothing
7-11
there. So we're
here starting
7-11
this.
here.
Yeah.
As the Vikings will take over on their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10, here in the second quarter. Of course, this game is brought to you by Tile Rams. Start your remodel right with dust-free demolition. And Black Desert, remarkable within reach.
That Black Desert Resort, by the way, absolutely incredible venue.
Where is it at?
Down in St. George, Ivans to be particular, is going to be hosting both LPGA and PGA Tour events beginning in 2024.
Really?
First time we've had both those tours back in Utah since the 60s.
Rasmussen in the gun. Franson lined up back there, and it's a give to Franson. Franson following his blockers, and he's got a good 5 yards. Going to give him 6.
Great job there by Franson, as you mentioned, just kind of following where his offensive linemen were directing him there, and makes it about a 6-yard pickup here. It's a great pickup on first down.
So on 2nd and 4, Rasmussen calling an audible here.
Everybody checking their wristbands.
Under 7 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
Oh.
And Rasmussen not looking. They hike the ball, and he'll just have to jump on this one. That'll be about a 10-yard loss.
Yeah, that's a miscommunication with his offensive line. He lost a 16, it looks like.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because the first. That's a miscommunication with the offensive line. His center thought he had the ready-to-go signal, and he fired it. And Rasmussen was not looking, as you mentioned. He was looking over to the sideline still. That is a disaster. As an offensive lineman, there's nothing worse as a center than to snap and not have your quarterback ready for it.
3rd and 21 now for the Vikings.
Not that I'm speaking from experience or anything.
Rasmussen sends Franson in motion. And he'll deliver this one. Pick 6. Interception. Easton Anderson.
That was an incredible read by Easton Anderson. He stepped into it. He saw that pass the entire way. All he had to do was collect it into his arms and waltz into the end zone. And just like that, Lone Peak has gone from being down 2 scores to in the lead, Mark.
So 16-14 pending the PAT.
We have not had an offensive touchdown for Lone Peak yet. They scored on a special teams, on a kick return, and now a pick 6. That's one way to do it.
Last week,
yeah, they had 4 of them.
They had 4 defensive touchdowns and 1 offensive touchdown as Connors adds 1. It's 17-14. We're back after this quick break. Peak football right here on Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com, brought to you by Heidemann Associates as Lone Peak getting the pick 6. Ball intended for McCoy.
Hey, if your offense is stuck in neutral, like the offense for Lone Peak has been most of the night tonight, why not have your special teams and defense step up and score touchdowns instead?
Hey, the defense did it last week for
them. I was saying, the 4 pick 6s a week ago, obviously. Trey Robinson, their best wide receiver, and obviously the best return man, returning that kick the 95 yards for a touchdown.
So,
absolutely incredible.
Never has that happened in Utah history, 4 pick 6s. And I'm not sure you count that because it was down in Arizona.
It happened in Arizona by a Utah team, so does it count?
I guess it
Let me
does.
call George Felt and ask him. He's obviously the godfather of all things Utah high school football.
I think it counts. It's still a Utah school.
It is a Utah-based school, yeah.
Well, their defense and special teams keeping them in this, as actually their offense has not scored.
No, they've got the field goal off of their offense.
That's special teams, isn't it?
Yeah, so they had the one interception that led to a field goal. Fumble. Excuse me. It was a fumble they recovered. Got a field goal off that. They had the kick return for a touchdown, and then the pick six just barely. So their defense is keeping them alive.
And the special teams. Yeah,
and special teams.
Oh, really defense. But
but do it. That's what you need to do. If your offense is stuck in neutral, you need other parts of your team to step up, and that's what Lone Peak's defense has done.
Rasmussen give it to Franson. Franson finding some room to run, and he's across the first down marker.
Great.
That 14-yard pickup there for Franson.
Yeah, great job by Jaden Mayberry there from his safety spot, coming in, chopping him down. Otherwise, he may have been off to the races at that point.
So going back to that pick six, Easton Anderson, a linebacker, he's the one that stepped in front of that pass, and it was only like a 4-yard pass.
He read it perfectly. He said, hey, I know I've seen this on film. It was obviously film recognition for him, I would assume.
Another give. This one to, is that Morris or is that Franson again?
He's Franson.
1 yard gain there for Franson.
Yep. That was, I don't know who made that tackle. Oh, Jackson Arrington, excuse me.
Heck of a run, that last run by Franson.
Well, the offensive line, by the way, I don't know if you saw the hole they created. They blasted the defensive tackle out of there, and it was a wide open gap right there.
4:10 left to go here in the second quarter. PG down by 3. Franson in motion. Now Rasmussen going to scramble out of the pocket, breaking three shoestring tackles.
Yeah, and then Easton Anderson and Jackson Arrington coming in and cleaning it up after he broke all those tackles. They had him dead to rights in that backfield, and he just was scraping out of tackle after tackle there. Great job by him. He is a slippery football player.
It'll be 3rd and 7 here for the Vikings from their own 37-yard line.
Nickel package here for Lone Peak on defense.
Rasmussen calling audible here. Clock ticking. We're down to 3:19 here left in the first half. Lone Peak showing blitz. And Rasmussen will release across the middle. It's caught. First down, Pleasant Grove. That was a completion to Mackay Peterson.
Great route there run by Mackay Peterson right into the heart of that zone, finding the seam, and obviously big ups to Rasmussen for firing it in there, and obviously first down yardage, and they're now back inside Knights territory once again.
They've got plenty on the clock, Jake.
Well, here's the thing. At this point, you could grind out this entire half if you want to do it that way.
Well, they're going with the I formation.
Yeah.
Rasmussen under center, and it's a give to Franson. Following his lead blocker, he'll pick up 1.
Good job by Jared Smith as well as Joshua Empey on the interior of that defensive line, making the tackle there. Jared Smith made the first contact, number 72, and then Empey coming from his defensive tackle position to clean it up.
He was able to get 2 yards. It brings up 2nd and 8 now. Morris comes into the game.
Sorry, Mark. I think they're fully intent. There was 7 minutes when they got this ball back, essentially. They want to grind out this entire half if they can.
Yeah, we're down to 2:15 left to go. Rasmussen in the gun. And he will look to pass. He blitzed, and he breaks the tackle. Not going to break those tackles, though.
Yeah, Easton Anderson finally getting him. He took some absolute abuse on that play, but great sack all the same there for that Lone Peak defense.
That was Tegan Towle that came unblocked.
You can't let that guy come unblocked. I'm sorry. There was a mix-up on that.
He hits Rasmussen. Rasmussen rolls off of it, but then
Easton Anderson buried him.
Well, and there were like 3 others,
I'm saying
too.
Easton Anderson, number 5, who had the pick 6 just a minute ago. He just absolutely laid the wood to Rasmussen. Timeout here by Pleasant Grove. We will take it to 1:52 to go in the half.
It's Lone Peak football right here on KSL Sports. Mark Winterton, Jake Hatch. As it is a 3rd and, what do we got, 19? 3rd and 19 here now for Pleasant Grove after that huge sack.
Big break here if Lone Peak can get off the field and obviously give their offense a little bit of time maybe to work with offensively.
Rasmussen in looking to pass. Releases across the middle, and it's caught.
Easton Anderson is laying lumber tonight, folks. That is the 2nd straight big hit he has delivered there for that Lone Peak defense. Going to force a punt here for Pleasant Grove after a pickup of what? 12? 11? Okay.
Yeah, as Christopher McCoy gets 11 with 1:30 and counting down.
I'm stunned that Lone Peak didn't call timeout. They have 2 timeouts to work with.
The offense hasn't done a lot.
Yeah, but they got 2 timeouts to work with. Why not? It's not good clock management by Coach Brockman, in my opinion. But to your point, if you feel like your offense is stuck in neutral,
keep them off the field.
Maybe so. You're going to take the delay
and now
game.
PG takes the timeout.
Take the timeout. Okay.
We'll take one as well. On Rewind Sports Network, right here on KSLSports.com, brought to you by Heidemann Associates and presented by G2G Bar. As the Vikings, with 4th and 8, look to pump this one away. Is that Nawahini back to receive? I can't. Ooh, almost blocked. Beautiful punt. And it'll take a nice Viking bounce to the 15. Down there as the Knights will take over with 56 seconds left.
Landon Goff nearly blocked that punt. Had he laid out, he probably does block. He tried to just kind of paw at it. Had he laid his body on the line there, he may have very well blocked that. But as you mentioned, a great kick all the same.
Holy cow, the air time on that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, sure.
I mean, that was a coffin kick. He was putting it in the corner. Great kick. And had it not bounced right at the Pleasant Grove defender, they may have been down inside the 10 there.
Yeah, just it went right into the player, and obviously at that point you got to.
First Lone Peak football brought to you by Legacy Power, smart energy solutions for a better future, and Walmart. Save money, live better at Walmart. It's Staley all alone in the backfield. 5 receivers. A quick pass there. Complete for about a 5-yard pickup.
Going to Jay-Sean Mayberry there, it looks like.
Down to 43 seconds left here. Again, 5 receivers. And Staley again to pass. He's got time. Releases, out of bounds. That is caught before it's out of bounds to Jay-Sean Mayberry.
Good job by Mayberry on that route right there along the sideline. And good job by Staley finding his guy there. Got 33 seconds to work with here, but you got to get a shot down the field.
And Staley completing a couple of passes here.
Yeah,
we got a first down.
I'm expecting a deep shot at some point here because you don't have a ton of time to work with. You do have the 2 timeouts, obviously.
He's got plenty of time in the backfield too to set up, shop, and find his open receiver. As this one is complete to Hoffheinz. Hoffheinz for about 4 yards.
And
now we've got a timeout.
Yeah, you had to burn that
by
timeout.
Lone Peak.
When you go to the middle of the field there, you got to call that timeout.
This game, of course, brought to you by G2G Bars. G2G makes fresh, healthy, and delicious grab-and-eat food for busy people with all natural ingredients, no preservatives, and plenty of protein. G2G Bars are perfect for anyone who needs a quick, tasty, and nutritious boost. The experts who develop and perfect G2G bars are passionate about nutrition, but they also understand that the world's healthiest bars are worthless if they taste like cardboard. That's why you'll always find G2G bars in the refrigerator section, made with fresh and familiar ingredients and crafted into delicious combinations that make it fun and easy to eat, healthy, no matter where your busy life takes you. And that's exactly how they are. They're great when you're trying to get your protein, but you're also not trying to take on any processed sugars. They're great.
They are there.
I'll probably have another one after the game, Jake. Staley all alone. He's got some time. He'll deliver this one, and that is caught for a first down.
Jaden Mayberry bringing that one in. So the Mayberry brothers doing some damage right now for Lone Peak. 20 seconds to go here. So
where was this offense the rest of the first half?
Good question.
Does Staley just work better under pressure? Less time.
You mean like he needs a deadline and gets the job
deadline,
done?
A deadline.
Okay.
There you go. He's an academic guy.
Hey, they say deals get done when deadlines are coming.
Got to see some sort of a goal in mind here. As he will now fumble the ball, and it's picked up by Pleasant Grove. Racing down the field. He'll be tackled there about the 26-yard line. I think that was Pete.
Yeah,
that was Wolfgram.
Yeah, Wolfgram. Great job by him. Isaac Staley, that ball literally, he was holding it just out in his hand. I think his own knee knocked that ball out, and obviously Wolfgram coming up with it. And with 8.4 seconds to go here, Pleasant Grove's going to have a chance to either tie or take the lead going into halftime. You're going to have about time for one shot to the end zone if you want to take it here if you're Pleasant Grove, and then you probably kick it.
Well, when you're holding it like a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think
his
own knee knocked that ball out.
I think you're right. And if you're going to run it, you got to pull it in. But I think he was still thinking pass the whole time.
And he was looking, and he tried to step up in the pocket there. Obviously did not work.
So Rasmussen with 8 seconds left here in the first half. Wanting to score, put Pleasant Grove ahead going into halftime as he'll look to pass. He releases this one for the end zone. Oh, and it was brought in as he can't maintain control of it. That was Sean Cottle.
Cottle had that in his hands. I got to give credit to C.J. Rubel on the far side over there, staying with that play and obviously ultimately forcing the incompletion here. You got 1 second. You got to kick this if you're Pleasant Grove. Do they not trust their kicker? They're not in the range here.
That's the question. Boy, I saw their punter, and their punter looks good.
Wow, I am stunned they're not even attempting a kick here. Wow, that tells you a lot about their kicking situation. With 1 second, if they're not going to.
That's going to be a 40. You
got to try it at least.
43-yard field goal.
No offense, but that's an indictment of your kicking game if that's the case.
Well, and they're going to take a timeout.
I know at the high school level, I get it. Kicking's at a premium at the high school level. But, man, you don't have one kid you think can put a foot into that?
Well, and a field goal does. It ties it up.
It ties the ball game.
It ties the ball game going into halftime.
You're taking a chance here of not getting anything out of this after a huge, huge break on that fumble and recovery by Wolfgram.
Of course, this game brought to you by Tech 9. Tech Happily with Tech 9, where Utah goes from custom software development, and also Tile Ram. Start your remodel right with dust-free demolition at Tile Ram.
Well, the offense is taking the field here, Mark, so they are not going to try and take points, it looks like. Well, they're going to try and get points, but via the traditional method, a.k.a. scoring a touchdown.
Jake, if you're worried about rain, snow, or terrible cold when watching your favorite team, you can get an Igloo by Igloo Outfitters.
I need me one of them.
It's actually been great weather today. We haven't had bad weather all year.
No, we've been lucky.
Rasmussen is going to be... Oh! He fumbles it, and it's picked up and taken down. That is going to be Easton Anderson, of course.
Yeah, Junior Tahi forcing the fumble there. Easton Anderson picks it up, and that's the end of the half. That is the risk you run as Pleasant Grove. You had a chance to tie this football game and did not take that opportunity to go for it. So 17-14 is your scoreline at the half.
Rasmussen really wanted to go for the end zone. He pulled up at the line of scrimmage instead of running it, and that's when the defender hit him.
Junior Tahi absolutely blasted him.
And the hit just released that football.
Yep. Easton Anderson, had a Pleasant Grove player not been there to make that tackle, he's probably scrambling towards the end zone.
Another touchdown for Lone Peak on a defense.
Big break in the end.
And so at the half, it is Lone Peak 17, Pleasant Grove 14. We're back after halftime to start second half action. Lone Peak football on Rewind Sports Network, KSLSports.com, brought to you by Heidemann Associates and presented by G2G Bar. Mark Winterton along with Jake Hatch bringing you this live coverage as Lone Peak coming in to take on Pleasant Grove Vikings here. Second half action about to begin as Pleasant Grove will receive to start the second half.
Yeah, pretty lively first half. Obviously turnovers, touchdowns, field goals. Everything you could have wanted and more. He had a kick return for a touchdown. Really good first half, 17-14 lead for the Knights. Here's the kickoff to start the second half here. Interesting to see how both of these teams adjusted at halftime, offensively and defensively, because we got one that looks like it could come down to the wire, Mark.
Well, a lot of almosts in the first half.
Sure.
So coming down to the wire, almost.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Here goes Connors to kick off. Back to receiver Mickelson and McCoy. As this one is going to be fielded by McCoy. And he comes out 20 down to the 25-yard line.
Looked like he had a seam there just for a moment, but then Lone Peak's special teams closed in nicely there to ensure the tackle, and we are off and running in the second half.
They're going to mark this one at the 26-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings from their own 26. As we wait to see what adjustments were made at halftime for either team, really.
Carson Rasmussen, the quarterback here for Pleasant Grove. He's been dynamic all night long.
You know, I was talking to Carson's dad at halftime, and he says that he thinks Bott's been out for a couple of weeks now as far as injured. I'm not sure what's up with him. As this pass is complete, but it's going to be a loss of yardage.
Great job there. Looks like that was Nawahine out there making that tackle on the edge along with Jaden Mayberry. Great job by them on that swing right out of the backfield. Great tackle for loss, and obviously putting Pleasant Grove right behind the sticks to start the second half.
Yeah, loss of 4, so it'll bring up 2nd and 14 now for the Vikings. Rasmussen looked like he got the play from the sideline, relaying it to his teammates. And Rasmussen in the gun. Franson lined up in the backfield with him. It's a give to Franson. And Franson continuing to move, and he gets big yardage.
Great job by that Pleasant Grove offensive line. They pulled the backside tackle play side on that. He opened a gigantic hole. You mentioned Franson just scooting through there, pickup of 9 yards, and suddenly they go from 2nd and long to 3rd and very, very manageable.
Again, Rasmussen in the gun. And again, Franson lined up in the backfield with him. And again, it's a give to Franson, and he's got the first. And we got a Pleasant Grove helmet come off. That's actually Lone Peak.
We're going to have a personal foul here. We got some tempers flaring a little bit there. Going to have to clean that up. There's going to be some yardage tacked on to this, it looks like. But unfortunate that had to happen. But a great run all the same by Pleasant Grove once again. That offensive line is opening some monster gaps right now in that run game. Really, really nicely done by the PG Vikings.
So his helmet came off. Doesn't that
if your helmet comes off due to a penalty, you can stay in the game.
Then you can stay in the game?
Yes, and that's what that was.
Gotcha.
I think a player grabbed a face mask and ripped it off, but they're still determining this right now.
So
we got coaches barking from both sidelines right now. Coach Brockbank on the far side, Coach Walkenhorst down here on the near side. See what the call is.
Well, and this is one of those games that hasn't necessarily been.
Oh, so we have an illegal participation. Helmet came off. You can no longer participate in the play there.
And it continued to
play. Obviously, it's a player safety issue. It's been a rule that's put in the last few years, and they're going to make that's the penalty. I thought there was going to be penalty tacked on for Lone Peak here, but it does not appear to be the case. That is crazy. We're going to have a conversation here. They're going to force 50 now to come off the field because of that illegal participation. When that helmet comes off, if it's committed against you penalty wise, you can stay in. If you're the one that's participating without your helmet on, you still got to go out.
Right. So that backs them way up.
Yeah, they had first down
and
yardage.
16 now.
Yeah, they had first down yardage. That's a 10-yard penalty. Wow. That is a big, big break for this Lone Peak defense. They went from giving up a first down to now potentially forcing a punt if they can get off the field here.
Sometimes you'll hear a lot of fans yelling things, but I think a lot of times it's a misunderstanding. They don't understand the game.
Well, and that's the thing. Here's the thing. It's a player safety issue. Years and years ago, trust me, I played high school football. We had helmets come off. You were still expected to continue the play. It's very dangerous, though.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that's why the rules.
You take a hit without.
Yeah, the rules in place to protect the player.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a misunderstanding, obviously, from the fan perspective, but I also get it from their perspective. They saw a helmet come off. They assumed something nefarious or something happened there. I get it, but it is a player safety issue.
And we got another flag.
Somebody said something on the sideline. It looks like here might be a sideline warning. Yeah, they're sideline warning. They're backing all their guys up.
Yep. Sideline warning against
sideline
Grove.
Warning the first time is just a warning. After that, it's a 5-yard penalty.
Well, Pleasant Grove came out really hot in the first half. Mm-hmm. Lone Peak fought back.
And Lone Peak has adjusted quite nicely on defense.
And now the momentum is all for Pleasant Grove as this one is a screen pass to Franson, and he's getting out to the 30. They're going to mark this one at the 32, so big pickup on third down.
And we got a Vikings offensive lineman down on the play there, but a great job by the Lone Peak defense tracking that down, making it 4th and 5 here, and we will take a timeout.
Man off.
It's number 54. I don't have a number 54 on my short list here. So
I got Simon Roundy.
Okay, well, best wishes to Mr. Roundy there, because never
going to see offensive tackle.
Never good to see a young man get injured, but result of the play is that Pleasant Grove will kick it away here.
So 4th and 4. Gabrielle McCoy with a pretty punt, but it's going to bounce out about the 33-yard line, and so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights from their own 33.
All right, interested. You mentioned halftime adjustments. Interested to see how the Knights adjusted at halftime. Offense kind of sputtered most of that first half there, so they need to find something. Maybe go back to the run game a little bit more, because we have not called Wild's number or name very often.
Well, they had that one little drive right at the end where, of course, Blake fumbled.
Yeah,
but
Staley.
Or Staley, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Staley fumbled, but he was completing passes to the out of bounds, or to the
boundary, yeah.
Right there at the out of bounds line, and they were moving the ball. We'll see what Staley does as he'll release this one. Pass is complete for about 3 yards.
Double hitched on that throw, but finally got it there. You can pick up a 3, as you mentioned there. That went to number 7, Mayberry. Oh, Hoffhines, excuse me. Sean Cottle with the tackle for Pleasant Grove.
9:30 left to go here in the third quarter. As it'll be 2nd and 7 here now. And Staley gives to Wild. Wild gets 1.
Yeah, he's getting no traction in the run game right now. Speaking of Wild, this has been a tough sledding for him tonight. Great job there by Levi Bezin, among others, on the interior of that defensive line there. Bezin coming off here, number 65. 6'6", 315.
Well, you've got to wonder if this offensive line for Lone Peak is struggling. They're not running the ball to Wild.
Here's the thing, though. They've got guys like Austin Pay's a Division I prospect. He's got offers all over the country. Why are you not running behind him?
Open that run game up as Pleasant Grove with the blitz. As Staley releases, is it caught in bounds? It was caught by Robinson. They're going to say it's out of bounds. But Staley almost just got nailed.
Yeah. May have gotten away with a minor hold. I think it was actually Mayberry on that reception.
Number 10.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. It was Trey Robinson.
And so they will have to punt, forcing Lone Peak to punt. So both teams going 3 and out here in their first series in the second half.
Local college score of note, by the way. Utah State trailing Air Force 39-14 at the end of the third quarter.
Hey, they scored.
Yep, McKay Hillstead in the game for the Aggies tonight.
Best punt of the night. And a fair catch. Called there at the 31, did he?
He bobbled it out of bounds, so he'll stay with Pleasant Grove there. But you got to secure that football.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings from their own 31-yard line. 8:32 left to go here in the third quarter. This game brought to you by doTERRA. They've got their big conference going on up Salt Palace.
Delta Center.
And the Delta Center.
Mainly the Delta
They're
Center
all over in the Salt Palace.
It's mainly Delta Center this year. Trust me, I work right next door to it. They're all over.
No, that's all over in the Salt Palace.
Is it too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's spilled over?
Oh, it is all over in the Salt Palace. They've got booths and everything you can go through and get your oils galore.
Well,
And then they have a big event.
Let's just
big
put it this way. I drove through the cloud of lavender earlier today.
Yeah, they had Andy Grammer last night at for the concert. As Franson with the big pickup. Nice run again. Franson running hard tonight.
This Pleasant Grove offensive line is opening big holes right now. Really nicely done there. Good job there by Landon Goff, reserve safety for Lone Peak, coming up and making that tackle at the end.
I'd be tempted not to just run it for Franson until they can show that they can stop it.
Well, that's the thing, is you don't fix what ain't broke.
Well, and if this offensive line's continuing to push through,
yes, absolutely,
it's going to wear down that defense, and you'll see him run even stronger. It's 2nd and 1. Rasmussen will scramble out. He'll get the first down.
Gets the first down yardage as a result. That's a great job by him. He looked and looked and looked and then tucked it and picked up the yardage for a first down. We got a Vikings player coming off the field here injured. It's number 2, Sean Cottle. Favoring a shoulder there, it looked like.
It's number 3.
Was it 3?
That's Christopher McCoy.
Okay.
If it's a shoulder or if it's an elbow. As this play. So that's Morris. Morris runs for 3 yards.
Yep. Heavy set package there. 2 H-backs on that formation there. It's like they're kind of leaning into this run game right now, Mark.
I still like Franson. He's showing they can't be stopped, but they've got him on the sideline right now. Morris is out there. And Rasmussen looks to pass. He'll be forced out of the pocket, and he's going to be brought down. Flag thrown in, probably a hold.
We're going to have a hold. Interior that offensive line. Quade Coombs, let's put it this way, had quite the takedown on Joshua Empey on the interior of that offensive line. Interesting to see if they decide to accept this penalty or not as a result of the play. Obviously, it was a sack. Coach Brockbink talking it over with our official.
Which means it's going to make it a third and 13, or do you take that extra 10 and go 2nd and 20? It's only 7 more yards.
Yeah.
But
Coach Brockbink talking over his options right now. By the way, great job there by Tegan Towell off the edge there for Lone Peak. Holding's the call is going to be declined, so they're going to go to the 3rd and long here. So they're going to trust their defense to get them off the field here with it being 3rd and 12 after that sack.
.6:30 is our time here in the 3rd quarter. .10 seconds on the play clock. And Rasmussen looks to pass. Releasing. It's good for a first. They're going to mark it short.
That's
just
a poor
1 yard
spot.
short.
That is a poor spot. I'm sorry. He had first down yardage when he caught that football. Side judge needed to see that. His forward progression had him at the sticks. They likely will go for this year, but they should have the first down yardage already, I thought.
Well, where the reception happened was right at the sticks, and he did take that yard from him as he lost his forward progression.
Great pass all the same, though, by Rasmussen.
So on 4th and 1, Morris in the backfield with Rasmussen. Rasmussen yelling out his audible.
Watch QB run.
Quick pass. It's complete, but it is going to be short.
Oh, Jaden Mayberry, what a play by that young man. Slips the block and makes the tackle out there immediately. What a turnover on downs. What a play by Jaden Mayberry for the Knights defense.
Tanner Blake making the catch, but he just can't do it with his feet.
Jaden Mayberry needed one block out there. Jaden Mayberry slipped it from that wide receiver and goes and makes the tackle. What a play by that young man.
So turnover on downs. And the Knights take over on their own 48-yard line.
Still leading at 17-14, speaking of Lone Peak.
A whole lot of nothing here the first 7
Been a
minutes.
stalemate back and forth, you're right.
Staley gives to Wild. And Wild pushes forward. They're going to give him 2.
Decent pickup there.
Well, decent pickup when there really was nothing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about this is you've got to just try and find any seam you can, and that's what Lone Peak's trying to manufacture. You got to continue to stay committed to the run, Mark. They're not picking up big yardage with it, but eventually you're going to pop one. And the other thing about it is it sets up your play-action game.
Well, and you've got Brooks Wild.
We know Wild. You give him a seam, he will exploit it. You just got to find that seam.
I mean, I think he's put on about 20 pounds over last year.
He looks
so
good,
he's got
though.
a lot of weight.
Yeah.
A lot stronger as Staley will look to pass. He'll release. Incomplete, intended for Robinson.
Trey Robinson, I think, didn't necessarily know where that ball was going. Unfortunately, couldn't come down with that one. Speaking of Gabe McCoy, had he been able to track a little bit, may have had a chance to pick that off.
This brings up 3rd and 8 now for the Knights, right at the midfield.
Yeah, neither one of these offenses have been able to do much right now. Got some confusion by.
That's your halftime adjustments, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. Credit to these defenses so far. You're right. They're pitching shutouts in the second halves right now.
And not that Lone Peak's offense was able to do anything in the first half.
They scored all their points off turnovers or special teams. So yeah, their defense and special teams are what have them in the lead.
Staley looking to pass. Going to left side. It is up. And it looks like it was good. Robinson going up and bringing it down.
Trey Robinson, what a snag that was. Great job by him going up in traffic and hauling it down and moving the sticks. That is a big-time catch for that young man.
Beautiful, beautiful catch.
Mekhi Peterson was out there in coverage, and he's one of the better cover guys in this region and couldn't do anything about it. That was just a phenomenal play by Trey Robinson.
So it's 1st and 10 here. Vikings 41-yard line. And Staley gives to Wild, and Wild just pushing forward. We'll get another 2 yards on that play. So brings up 2nd and 8 again.
Yeah, Wild just got to keep driving forward, keep driving those feet. At some point, I feel like this offensive line is going to hopefully open a hole for him because you and I have called enough of his games that you give him an opportunity and he will take it.
Well, and most running backs, they tend to run harder and stronger as the game goes on.
Sure, absolutely. And
you're starting to wear down the defense.
It's the body punch theory, yeah.
You hit him enough and it wears it down.
We are going to have a false start. Oh, yeah, offside.
Offsides on the defense.
So I think this cornerback out here on the near side may have been lined up. I think that's number 6. Mekhi Peterson may have been lined up offsides. The official will typically tell you, hey, you need to back up. And apparently didn't heed any of that. Now the 2nd and short as a result. That's a big-time mistake there.
I think usually they expect you to look over at them.
Yeah, and they'll tell you. They will. You're right. They will tell you if you look over and check with them. They'll tell you, hey, back up or you're good. And maybe he didn't check. And now he's checking.
So second and third now.
Now
second
he's
and
checking.
3. Now he's checking as they come on a blitz, but it's a quick release. And of course releasing it to Wild, and Wild was looking deep.
Wild hadn't even broken out on his route there before Staley released that one. Maybe he needed to hold it a beat longer. Wild needs to look a little quicker. He's got to understand that's a fire call. You got to get that ball out.
Well,
it was an all-out blitz from both sides.
You've got Gates covering Wild.
Mm-hmm.
That pass thrown a little outside.
Yeah,
had Gates been watching, possible interception and pick 6.
Yeah.
So 3rd and 3 now. This Viking student body getting rowdy as Staley looks to pass. In and out of hands of Hoffhines.
That's a catchable ball. Hoffhines has got to come down with, and that one's an easy conversion for 1st down. Unfortunately, now it's 4th down. We'll see what the decision is here. Looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field, at least for the time being.
This would be a 50-yard field goal for Connors if they wanted to kick this.
And his 47-yard he made in the first half, that felt like it was probably towards the extent of his range. We have fireworks to the north here of us.
Do we?
Yeah, look at that.
Is there a little bit of wind? No, there's not much wind here.
Not much.
And so they look to go for it. 4th and 3. And Staley to pass. And he is going to get dropped. They're going to say he was down. And so they're going to say it is Vikings ball at the 41.
Riker Mickelson came off the edge there, came untouched, and got the sack. What a huge play by him from his outside linebacker position. That's a game-changing play right there for that Pleasant Grove defense. Great job. Staley had to double clutch that football because he didn't have the receiver looking. He was looking to get that ball out to.
This game brought to you by Crumble. Have you had a Crumble cookie lately?
I had one just 2 days ago, actually.
Crumble cookies are in American Fork and Linden, bringing friends and family together over a box of the best cookies in the world.
I like that liner.
And Rasmussen with the keeper and takes a solid hit after 1 yard gain.
Easton Anderson was laying lumber in the first half. He just laid another one there on Rasmussen. He is bringing the hit stick tonight. We got another player on the field. It's a Lone Peak defender. We'll take a timeout.
We're watching Lone Peak football right here on KSLSports.com.
Drew Gunnarsson was the Lone Peak defender, helped off the field there.
As Rasmussen gives to Franson. Franson pushes forward, charges forward for about 5 yards. It'll bring up third and about 4.
I like this run game for Pleasant Grove. It is hard-nosed. It's on point. They hit the holes at the correct time. The offensive linemen are creating nice seams there for these running backs. It's a good thing. Hopefully they can maintain it.
Franson coming off the sideline there. 2 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Rasmussen to pass, and he releases. And it's intercepted.
Yeah, Rasmussen had to get that one out of his hands as he had a defender coming right into his grill. C.J. Rubel just had to go up and bring it down. Great job, and another break for this Lone Peak team. That's their third interception of the night. There are 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery.
Well, that pass intended for Caudle, and he just wasn't able to get it deep enough.
Yeah, that's the thing. He had a guy coming right into his grill. That was Tegan Towell, guy who's been an absolute terror off the edge so far tonight for Lone Peak. Was right in his grill, delivered a solid hit, and just the pass just never got to where it needed to go. C.J. Rubel just played center field and brought it down.
Well, if you want to feel like yourself again, Founded in Wellness is a simplified program just for you. To learn how to lose weight, regain energy, balance hormones, and get restful sleep, go to foundedinwellness.com for free consultation. That's foundedinwellness.com. Staley gives to Wild.
That's Wolfgram. Tua Wolfgram coming off the edge with a great tackle for loss there, and obviously going to be a second. What are we going to lose here? 6 yards? Yeah, about 6 yards.
That's a huge loss as far as.
Tua Wolfgram's playing absolutely awesome tonight. By the way, both these defenses are balling out right now.
He didn't get a chance to even run the ball.
No.
He got the ball and had a chance to hang on to it.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Wolfgram was on him from the get-go.
Down to 1:15 left to go here in the third quarter. Staley releases this one. And again, a screen pass to Wild going nowhere.
And who again? Tua Wolfgram.
This guy's an animal.
Great job by him sniffing that out there, obviously, making it 3rd and long after no gain on the play. Great job by this Pleasant Grove defense. They're bringing pressure off the edge, and it is causing all kinds of issues for this Lone Peak offense right now. Great adjustment by them at halftime.
Well, both Trevin Gates and Wolfgram, your linebackers for this Pleasant Grove defense, complete animals. As Pleasant Grove shows blitz, Staley looks to pass, and he'll release this one, just bombing it down to Robinson. Robinson going for a one-handed, cannot haul that in.
That ball just a touch too inside for Robinson to get to where he could bring it down, and a great job there by Gabe McCoy there in coverage. Awesome job as Pleasant Grove defense forcing a 3-and-out.
Well, fresh, healthy, and delicious. When you eat one, you'll know. That's G2G bars. You can pick them up. I think you can get them at Costco. You can get them online. Just go to G2G, right?
Go to Costco?
I don't know. That's where I know you can get them.
That's where you can get them
That's
online.
where you get them.
Trust me. We're lucky enough at the zone where I work to actually have a little fridge that has them in it.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, I know.
25 seconds left to go here in the third as Daly will pump this one away, and he gets
partially
it blocked.
I believe that was Tua Wolfgram once again.
And he's the one that ends up down in it. He gets down to the punt. He blocks it and then runs down to the ball.
Hey. All right, big opportunity here for Pleasant Grove with great field position on the plus side of the field. The Lone Peak 43.
Well, we're starting to see weather change a little bit, Jake. And if you're worried about rain, snow, or terrible cold when you're watching your favorite team, get in an igloo. That's spelled I-G-L-U. Igloo Outfitters, worry no more. Go to iglooutfitters.com, I-G-L-U outfitters.com. Enter Rewind for $20 off. Igloo Outfitters.
Easton Anderson with a great tackle for loss in the backfield there. Loss of 1. And we got linebackers just balling out tonight, Mark. We have Tua Wolfgram for Pleasant Grove. You also have you got Junior Tahi and Easton Anderson here for Lone Peak. Been fun to watch.
And that, after 3, we got the same scores we had at halftime. We'll be back. Start the fourth quarter, 17-3, Lone Peak on top. KSL Sports, and as we left, 17-14. Sorry, is our score. 3-point difference. A 3-point difference. Lone Peak's got the lead. It seemed like it was all PG when this game started.
It was. Lone Peak's defense came alive and has gotten them back into this game, giving them the lead. We'll see if Pleasant Grove can either tie or take the lead here after a big break with a partially blocked punt.
Give to Franson. Franson going to pick up a few yards there.
Yeah, Franson ran into his own guy there, else he would have picked up more. Pick up a 2 after being 2nd and 11. Be 3rd and 9 here.
So in night territory here, night 42-yard line. And fourth quarter, we got a 3-point ball game. I don't think we've had a 3-point ball game in the fourth quarter this year in any of the games we've called.
Nope, we've had
pretty much blowouts.
We've had some.
Last week wasn't much of a.
That second half may have lasted 30 minutes. It's 42-0 at halftime, folks. I don't know what to tell you.
In our last week's game.
Yep. And we got a timeout here by Pleasant Grove.
And we'll take one as well. 11:16 left to go here in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 9. Mark Winterton, Jake Hatch, bringing you this live action of the Lone Peak football here at Pleasant Grove High School. Rasmussen calling some audibles. Releases. It's caught. Stays on his feet. That's number 11, James Clark, on the reception.
Great job by Clark, but now Wahine, Goff, Mayberry, they all came and just delivered licks before getting him down. Be 4th and 4 here, and they're going to stay on the field with the offense.
Yeah, you're 4th down territory.
And we already saw in the first half you don't necessarily have a kicking game. So
apparently.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know. Sure, they didn't attempt that field goal. Yeah, that's a good point.
There was no attempt.
Yeah.
So 4th and 4, down by 3. And it's Morris in the backfield with Rasmussen. Rasmussen, quick pass, and it's released. It's Winterton. Winterton across the 20, out of bounds. And so in the first half, we saw Winterton on a quick slant, took it to the house. This time, he breaks free.
Yep. Ran a stick route to the sticks there, converted the first down, and then missed tackle, gets out the field. Yak, obviously, yards after the catch. Great job, great pitch and catch, and obviously a big first down there for Pleasant Grove.
Right at the 20-yard line.
Got some confusion here with Lone Peak on defense.
And there's the snap, and it's a keeper. Rasmussen comes, as Nawahini and who else?
Arrington. Nawahini and Arrington just
Arrington
delivered some monster hits on that, bowling over Rasmussen. We've seen some hitting tonight, Mark. This has been fun.
He gets 2 yards on that, what looked like could be big yardage.
Yeah.
Lone Peak defense steps up
Yeah, Nawahine from his corner spot, obviously coming to deliver the first ball, and then Arrington making sure that, hey, he ain't going anywhere.
2nd and 8. Inside the red zone here. Franson in the backfield there with Rasmussen, and it's a gift to Franson. And Franson, there's nothing going for him, and it's a loss of 2 on the play.
We should have had a hold on number 55 there. I don't know if you saw that jersey for the Lone Peak defender there. Got completely strung out by like 3 yards there as he's trying to help make a block there in the backfield.
Well,
should have been 10 yards.
A loss of 3, and so this brings up 3rd and 11 now, and it backs him up to the 21.
All right, another chance for Lone Peak to get off the field on defense here.
Yeah, they're going to have. We're fourth down, so four down territory. So they've got 2 downs, 2 plays to do it.
They're doing a check here. They only got 7 seconds, so they got to go quick.
3, and he'll get it off. Releases, and it's Winterton again. No, that is actually that's
Winterton.
That's Peterson.
Oh, it's Peterson.
That was Peterson on the catch.
Okay, nice easy 5-yard pickup there for Peterson. Coming up, limping a little bit here. Go off to the sideline, but
they're going to give him 8 yards on that one.
Yeah, 4th and 3 as a result here.
So Peterson hangs on and gets the 8-yard reception.
They're going to go? Are they going to kick? What are we doing here?
Well,
they don't have a play call. They're going to call timeout.
Yeah. The offensive line's yelling something, and
they aren't happy. They didn't have a play call in there. They were turning around asking for a play call. Have to burn a timeout as a result. We'll take it too.
And so change of events or change of decision.
Plans.
I don't know. Plans. Vikings come out to kick a field goal. Yeah. Rasmussen to hold. Doman to kick.
30-yarder on the number.
The kick is up. It looks good. It is. We got a tie ball game here at Pleasant Grove High School. 17 all, 8:23 left to go in the 4th. We're back after this quick break. 8:23 left to go in the 4th quarter. It's Lone Peak football right here on KSL Sports Rewind, brought to you by Heidemann & Associates. They're a flat rate law firm that's completely focused on you, and you can get a free consultation by calling 801-472-7742 or go to utah.law to find the office nearest you.
All right, last time we saw Pleasant Grove kick off here, Mark, we saw some fireworks from Trey Robinson.
Doman to kick.
Great kick.
Good kick. That one will go at the back of the end zone. Wow.
That's a no doubt. That's
way high.
You ain't returning this kick.
That was high.
Yeah, great job by Doman
far.
there. Doman, if I'm not mistaken, is the son of former BYU quarterback and offensive coordinator Brandon Doman. Saw him in the crowd tonight. He's had a number of his children.
such a fun quarterback. Him and Staley were a good duo.
That 2001 team, all-timers.
They were fun to watch. That game against Utah is
legendary.
It is. Really, it was. Maybe not for any Utah fan, but University of Utah.
Sure.
As a Utah fan, though, that rivalry is fun. Too bad they're not playing this year. Rasmussen to pass. Staley to pass. You know, we're saying Doman and Staley, but then we got another Staley, which I wonder how the relation is there.
I have to find out at some point.
Staley will pick up a couple yards on this one. Will bring up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Riker Mickelson making the tackle there after the scramble by Staley. I'm worried about this Lone Peak offense, Mark. This is why they're 2-3. They just can't move the football consistently.
Consistently, yes.
Their defense is very, very good.
Staley, quick pass. It's complete. Hoffhines, I believe. What a hit.
Mayberry with the reception, actually.
Oh, is that Mayberry?
Yep. We got Mekhi Peterson limping after he made that great tackle there, riding him out of bounds. Hopefully he's able to continue to play, but he is limping pretty heavily right now.
Was that Peterson that was slow to get up?
Number 6 out there on the far side. He made the tackle, came up limping.
So 7:15 left to go, and we got a tie ball game here in the fourth quarter. Lone Peak from their own 25-yard line. Here, third down, and Staley to pass. He's going to release this one, throwing it down. And Robinson.
We're going to have a pass interference call.
It's probably going to. Will it be a pass interference or a hold?
One or the other. Peterson had a hold the entire way. He was not letting Robinson get past him. It's going to cost him the yardage. It's going to give him a first down.
Well, and if that's the case and it slowed Robinson down, Robinson possibly hauling that one in for 6.
Yeah, let's put it this way. He was not about to let that happen.
And so the first down will bring it up to the...
So defensive holding is the call.
The Lone Peak 35-yard line.
Yep, 10 yards, give you the first down yardage you need. See if we can get Lone Peak going here on offense finally.
Oh, Pleasant Grove.
Riker Mickelson was coming. He's been doing that all night long, but they caught him on that one. I mean, easy. A false start. Wow. All right, so Riker Mickelson gets bailed out there a little bit. False start on Lone Peak. Great job by the Pleasant Grove defense there.
So 1st and 15 now from their own 30. And again, false start. And all it had, the defensive player just standing up and backpedaling.
Thatcher Kuhn was the defensive lineman there that forced the false start there. That left side of that Lone Peak offensive line, Austin Pay as well as Nisi Patane, one of the captains tonight, they got to stay set. Those are two of their leaders on that offensive front.
Go back to their 25. Still first down. 7 minutes here in the fourth quarter as Staley will release. Incomplete. I think Wolfgram thought he could have come back and
he nearly had it.
Intercept that.
I'm also a bit surprised that was not a pass interference call. We had a defender get there a little bit early on that hit, but hey, no flag, no foul.
Bring up 2nd and 20 now for the Knights.
I got to give Mackay Peterson credit. He is out there limping hard. He's still continuing to get it done out there on the far side, at corner.
And Staley to pass. Released. It's Mayberry. And it's intercepted. Interception. Touchdown.
Riker Mickelson, what a play. Taking it off his teammates' back there and waltzing into the end zone. That is one of the more incredible pick sixes you're ever going to see. What a play. What a touchdown. And Pleasant Grove has the lead.
That's called carrying the weight, the team on your shoulders, kind of.
Way to go, Riker Mickelson. Way to stay with that play, find the ball, and obviously take it back for a touchdown. Huge change of events here, obviously, for the Vikings.
Well, it looked like Mayberry was going to bring it down, but the extra effort there by the defensive, that whoever was on coverage.
They're going to have to burn another timeout here, or we got to get a...
Had to get a football. That's going to be a ref.
You got to have the referee set the football. You can't set it yourself.
But great coverage, and I'm not sure who the defensive man was on that, but he's the one that put the pressure on Mayberry to knock the ball loose, and then of course it just comes down his back, and Mickelson takes it off.
Some thought it may have been Gabe McCoy, but I'm not 100% certain on that.
And we are back right here at Pleasant Grove High School. 24-17, 6:44 left to go. Pleasant Grove with the lead, and they will kick off. Doman to kick. I can't make out those numbers back there, Jake. I think there's Nawahini, but I think this one will not be returnable. Oh, that was Robinson back there with Nawahini.
Nawahini. That was a typical return. His jersey's bunched up, so seeing that number 10, you couldn't see it.
And so they will take over on their own 20-yard line. Lone Peak football brought to you by G2G bars. Fresh, healthy, and delicious. When you eat one, you will know. If you've never had one, you got to try them. If you're trying to turn things around, eat better, G2G bars. It's the way to go. Staley all alone. And we got a offsides, would be my guess. And
You're going to have offsides as the result. You can't bait an offensive lineman. That's an easy call. We got the home faithful, obviously upset about that, but that's an easy 5 yards. You can't walk up and do that and bait an offensive lineman. That's an easy call.
This is probably the most attended game I've
packed
been
stands
to this
here, PG. I'll give them that.
I'm not sure Lone Peak Corner Canyon had this many.
No, we've got a good crowd on hand tonight. There's no doubt.
It's packed. I mean, you're almost standing room only over on the visitor side. As Staley, quick pass, and it's complete. It's Hoffines, and he's across the middle. The 40, the 50, down to the 44-yard line. First down, Lone Peak.
That's what you needed to see from this Lone Peak offense. You needed to see Staley make a good pass, and you needed a receiver to make a play. Hoffines breaks one tackle, and he's off to the races, and suddenly they're inside the 45 here.
They're going to mark this one at the 43-yard line. Big play there by Hoffines.
That's what you needed if you're Lone Peak. You needed that. You've needed that all night long, Mark.
Again, the 5-receiver set. Staley all alone. 1st and 10 here. And I imagine it's to try and stop those blitzing linebackers as Staley struggled with them. And he'll run. He tucks it. He's across the 40. The 35 down to around the 33-yard line. They're going to mark this one 10-yard gain, first down.
Yeah, great job there by him tucking that and just bringing it down and getting the yardage you could get. Turner Brown looked like ended up getting the hit there at the end of that play, but it came up worse for the wearer. Matyra Brown, excuse me. But it came up a little bit, worse for the wearer, let's put it that way, after that hit.
A 1st and 10, again. Lone Peak down by a score, and there's 5:30 left to go in the game. And a quick pass again. This one again intended for Hoffines, but it was thrown low. Hoffines can't hang on to it.
You can't throw it at the guy's knees. Sorry.
It's hard to catch with your legs,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to put that on the numbers there. He's just short-armed that throw. You've got to deliver it right on the guy's numbers there. Had Hoffines catch that, he had a chance to break that tackle and pick up another first down potentially.
You're starting to see some fatigue in both sides, whether it's defense and offense.
It's been a slugfest tonight, Mark. We have seen some absolute slobber knocker type hits.
Again, 5-receiver set. 5:30 on the clock. Staley releases, and it's Mayberry. Mayberry, 8-yard pickup.
Yeah, great job there on the short pass. Obviously, Mekhi Peterson coming up with the tackle. He is still continuing to labor out there. He must have a bum will.
That'll be 3rd and 2 here at the Vikings 25-yard line.
This is, in my opinion, this is a down and distance. This is Brooks Wild time to shine.
Well, this is the hard thing, too, though. Staley's having to go get the play, then run it back in. And you're on the far side, hash mark.
Watch QB draw here.
Here comes the blitz. Staley releases to Mayberry. Mayberry makes a move. He cannot quite get past Peterson there. But it's a first down.
They're picking on Peterson because Peterson is very immobile right now. He's doing everything he can. He's got a bad wheel out there. He's playing his heart out. I got to give him credit for staying in this game. But they are going to pick on that until they get down to the end zone here, it looks like.
He's definitely walking with some sort of a
He took a hit. Remember, he hit the wide receiver on the far side, and he has been hurt since.
And Pleasant Grove wants a timeout. 4:28 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Lone Peak at the... Where are we at? The 16-yard line. Pushing. They need a score, tie this one up. We're going to keep you right here as this game is brought to you by Ideal Kitchen and Bath. Do it once, do it right. Tire Factory Point S. No stress with Point S Tire and Auto Service. Tire Factory Point S in American Fort. Tech 9. You can tech happily with Tech 9, where Utah goes for custom software development. And start your remodel right with Dust Freak Demolition at Tile Ram. Remarkable within reach, that's Black Desert. Legacy Power, Walmart, all proud sponsors of Lone Peak football. As here comes our Lone Peak offense. 4:28 on the clock. Pleasant Grove leads. 5 receivers set. 1st and 10 here from the Vikings 16-yard line. That's Robinson in motion. Staley turns. He's going to get gobbled up in the backfield. Sack, loss of 4 on the play.
Big play of that Pleasant Grove defense. Come up with a sack there. And we have got a Pleasant Grove player who made the sack down. I can't get a number off of his shoulder pads here,
that is number 53, Mason 53. Ivy.
Yep, Ivy. All right, well, we will take a timeout while they deal with Ivy on the field there.
And so they were able to help Mason Ivy off. And it'll bring up, this is 2nd and 14, Staley all alone. Looking to pass, releases. There's that one up, incomplete.
That is a long throw. You got to get that throw on point, and that one just sailed on him a little bit there. Make it 3rd and long here.
That was Nawahini.
They do play Nawahine in certain downs and distances. He's actually a really, really good athlete on both sides of the ball.
Well, when you have that's the thing, when you've got a good athlete, it doesn't matter what side of the ball, they're going to help you.
All right, situation here, Mark. I think it's 4-down territory, don't you?
It is in this situation with 3:51 left to go and you're down by a touchdown.
You do have 3 timeouts.
And your defense has been top-notch.
Yeah.
But you go for the tie, and he's going to get drugged down. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but still, that's going to bring up 4th and 14.
Thatcher Kuhn with a great drag down there from his defensive end position. Great job by him, and it's 4th and long here. If I'm Lone Peak, I might take the points here and play for a chance to get a stop and get the ball back, but I don't know. But it looks like I am wrong. They're going to keep the offense on the field here, it looks like.
Yeah, not a bad idea to kick a field goal, put 3 points on the board, and then let your defense do what they've done all night and possibly get, add a touchdown.
We're going to be under 3 minutes here.
It's your defense that's going to score. Let them do it. The release, and it's Robinson with the catch, and he's got a first.
What a play, what a throw. That's the best throw of the night by Isaac Staley, delivering it on point, on time, and a 1st and goal situation now for Lone Peak.
Jake, I'm gonna disagree with you. Robinson had to go up and get that thing.
I'm just telling you, he has not thrown across the middle all night. He needed to get one in there.
And he did.
He fired it in there.
He got it to where his receiver could get it, but Robinson went up and got that, and I feel like he sacrificed his body a little bit.
Trey Robinson is their leading receiver on the season, 310 yards coming in tonight with 4 touchdowns. He's got to be over 100 yards plus tonight easily.
Well, that was a remarkable catch, and more than that, it basically saved this game at this point.
Yeah, Coach Brockman is irate. His offense was just taking all kinds of time. He was forced to burn a timeout here. You did not want to burn a timeout there because that is not what you need in this situation.
So 2:28 left to go. We're going to keep you right here as Lone Peak down by a score, but they're knocking at the 5-yard line. This game brought to you by doTERRA, proud sponsor of Lone Peak football, and doTERRA's products help athletes around the world maintain the highest level of health and wellness. Learn more about how you can up your health and wellness game at doTERRA.com.
All right, well,
doTERRA has protein. They got protein shakes. They got it all. That's why I say go check it out to see how they can up your wellness game. Toothpaste, deodorant,
you sound like a distributor,
shampoo.
Sir. You sound like you're trying to sell me.
I am not.
We got 1st and 5 here.
But I do use their product from time to time.
All right.
Hey, they got I formation, and it's Brooks, born to be wild in the backfield. And it's a give to Brooks. Brooks going to get maybe 1. We'll see where they mark this.
I think it's going to be no gain officially there. Great job at that defensive front there for Pleasant Grove. Bezant, Johnson, all those guys on the interior doing a great job.
Boy, they are yelling at the clock guy.
Well, he did not run it. I will give him that. It needed to be running, and they weren't running it. So
I don't think at this point it's going to matter. You got 5 yards to go, and you got 2 minutes. That's 4 downs.
Yeah. Oh, this is. There ain't no field goals now.
Staley throws. Incomplete, intended for Robinson. Great defense there. Number 7 on the defense.
Staley needs to put that on Robinson. He threw it behind him there. You cannot throw that football behind him. McCoy with a great pass breakup as a result there, but you've got to throw that football in front of the receiver, not behind him.
And now this brings up 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Staley coming back.
This is a situation where I'd try running it again myself. See if you can get Brooks Bourne to be wild on the edge or something here.
Well, Brooks is in the backfield with Staley. Staley in the gun. And Staley will release. And again, McCoy there to knock that one out.
Great job by McCoy. Great position. Great defense. And obviously a great pass breakup. And this is probably 4th in the ball game.
Well, with 1:52 left, Lone Peak still has 2 timeouts.
They do. Had they had all 3 timeouts, it's a different situation. 2 will help you, but you got to think this might be it.
And this crowd is on their feet. We're going to have to get on our feet as well, Jake. 1:52 left to go in the game. 4th down. The throw, and it's again knocked out of the...
So Tanner Blake with a great pass. Tanner Blake stepped into the alley and just knocked it out of the air. What a play, and we got a flag on the field here.
But it's over next where the Lone Peak.
Yeah, Lone Peak must have said something.
You know, you're on the 5-yard line. You're holding Pleasant Grove there. If it's against Lone Peak, they really made a mistake there.
You just sacrificed major field position. Coach Brockbank out here wondering what's up. Tanner Blake, man, big play there with that pass breakup. Loved it. We got unsportsmanlike on Pleasant Grove. Wow.
Well, that's just half
That's
the
going to be
distance.
half the distance. That's still, you're back to the 2.5 now.
So the 2.5-yard line, Pleasant Grove will take over on loss of downs with 1:48 left to go. Lone Peak still has 2 timeouts.
All right, this is where your run game's got to come alive here if you're Pleasant Grove. They have got to get a first down to seal up a win here. I am expecting all-out blitzes from here on out from Lone Peak.
Well, we've got Franson out there. Rasmussen.
Look at these safeties. They are not sitting deep at all.
Rasmussen's going to take this one under center. Franson in the backfield. And it's a give to Franson, and he's hitting the backfield.
And we got a safety.
He's hitting the end zone.
We got a safety. That's a safety.
That is a safety, and that means Lone Peak will get the ball back.
You got to get out of that end zone. That was not a good play call there by Pleasant Grove. They tried to pull a backside guard and got blown up from the get-go. Big play there by Lone Peak on defense, and they are going to be right back in this with a 5-point margin.
But, Jake, now you're sitting with an offense that hasn't moved the ball well. They were able to move the ball down to the 5-yard line, but not able to convert.
But let me just say this. With this free kick upcoming, you will give most likely Trey Robinson and or Nawahine a chance to return this, and we have seen them be deadly already tonight in the return game.
So with the safety, they will be kicking from the 30?
30 or 35? 30, I believe, though. I think you're right.
So the 30-yard line.
It might be the 25, actually. Yeah, it is the 25. Or 20-yard line. It's the 20-yard line. This is going to be... You're going to get a returnable kick.
20.
Unless you're going to angle this out of bounds, which, by the way, if you do that, you give them the ball at the 35. So...
Well, and they've got a heck of a punter.
They do.
In Doman.
They do. He's going to have to put a nice leg into this. He will have the opportunity in terms of if he wants to put it on a tee and kick it, he can do that.
Doman.
And I would encourage him to do that if I was the coach. All right, well,
Rockwell Doman, a senior.
We wanted a good game, and we got one tonight.
24-19, Lone Peak down by 5. 1:40 left to go here in the fourth quarter after the safety. And Doman will kick this one from the 20. He has booted it out of the back of the end zone from the 40, but we're 20 yards back now. This one is returnable.
Should be returnable, yes.
This one should land still about the 10.
Unless he's got an 80-yard leg in him all of a sudden.
There's a good chance he puts this one. No, it's going to be high into the out of bounds. And Nawahini gets under it at the 30. He's coming across the far side of the field looking for big blocking. I did see a block in the back, but there was no flag, and he gets across midfield.
Wow. I'm surprised that was not a block in the back. Stunning, frankly. And now Lone Peak, they are in the plus side of the 50 here and got a chance.
Well, it's not. It was almost like a pullback, though.
In a way.
He didn't take that guy out of play, I guess, when he blocked him in the back.
Still, you see those called more often than not, not going to lie. All right, we got 1:32 to go, and Lone Peak's got 2 timeouts to work with here, down 5. End zone or bust if you're the Knights.
They are in Viking territory. Barely.
49 going in.
Staley all alone. 5 receivers. He releases, and it's complete. Mayberry getting tackled. They're going to give him that 2 yards.
Great job by McCoy. Peterson's going to get a delay a game penalty if he's not careful. You can't land and lay on top of the offensive player. He's got to be smarter than that. You cannot do that.
Clock ticking down. 1:10 left to go. Staley calling out the plays. No huddle situation. 5 receivers. Staley, nothing going, and he's going to scramble out of there. He's got room. Close to a first down, but the clock's going to keep ticking.
And he's injured.
Here.
He's injured. He's got to get up. You got to call timeout here, I think. Are they going to call timeout?
I don't know if Lone Peak called the timeout.
Yep, we did.
They did.
Pleasant Grove's out of timeouts. They can't call one.
Right. So Lone Peak calls their timeout. They've only got 1 left. 53 seconds left to go. We're going to keep you right here.
It looked like for a minute there, Mark, by the way. I know you got to get a read in here, but it looked like for a minute there, Staley had a nice seam up the gut there. Great job by Pleasant Grove for closing that down.
Yeah, he looked like he was going for a first down.
He was going to come up this seam right up here in the middle of the field, but great job by Pleasant Grove closing it.
Hey, I want to thank our sponsors here, we're able to bring you Lone Peak football. Heidemann and Associates, along with Igloo Outfitters. That's Igloo with the U. G2G Bar, doTERRA, Tire Factory Point S, Ideal Kitchen and Bath, Tech 9, Tile Ram Black Desert, Legacy Power, Crumble Cookies, and Wellness Foundations.
They're going with an umbrella look on defense here. This is prevent defense by Pleasant Grove. Not sure I like this right now in this down and distance.
Well, with 53 seconds left, and you've got some...
That's a first down.
That's Hoffhines.
That's a first down. He's got first down yardage.
That stops the clock until they move the sticks.
Oh, and they just... Oh, we got all kinds of theatrics. We had an offensive lineman trying to help his teammate out. It's going to cost Lone Peak big time. That was a boneheaded mistake there.
Do you think you've got offsetting calls?
I think so, but they'll be lucky because Misa Patane came over and absolutely blasted that Pleasant Grove player. He can't do that. He's got to be smarter in this situation. That was first down. They had a first down there, and you just screwed all that up.
Well, if it's offsetting calls, it still puts them back there.
It's first down
at
yardage.
The 38-yard
I know that Pleasant Grove fans were celebrating like they had him tackled for loss. They were going to give him that forward progression on that.
Hoffhines got the first down.
Yeah.
But now we'll see if it's...
Here we go.
Personal foul against Lone Peak.
And unsportsmanlike.
And unsportsmanlike.
Offsetting.
They're offsetting. And so it's going to be first down, Lone Peak, from the Viking 38-yard line.
They're trying to keep this game under control, Mark, and there's guys chirping, there's guys hitting late. You got to be smart in this. Both these head coaches need to get their guys under control right now.
This is actually going to be up to the 37-yard line. And so at 47 seconds, they should start this clock as soon as the refs get it set.
As soon as he's set and ready to go.
Clock.
We're having a conversation with Coach Brockbank right now. I'm not sure what about. But as soon as the white hat says we're set to play, clock will start. Here we go. We good? There we go. Maybe not. Here we go.
And here we go. Clock starts. 43. Staley all alone. He's going to air this one out. And that is a automatic pass interference.
That is too easy. You can't do that. I'm sorry.
Mayberry, the intended receiver.
Yeah, let's put it this way. Mekhi Peterson is battling right now. He had no choice. He had absolutely no choice. He has no change of direction ability right now, and Mayberry was going to cook him if he didn't do that.
That was a Lone Peak touchdown had Peterson not pulled him down.
Mayberry had it. He had him cooked. There's no way Mekhi Peterson could change direction on that bad wheel. He is battling out there, but he had no ability outside of committing that penalty.
Well, this is going to take it from the 37-yard line up to about the 20. Where am I going? 37 at the 22. Yes.
Yeah, 22-yard line.
I wanted to say 22.
You had it. Yeah, you had it.
But then my high school math.
You had it. You got it. I know.
35 seconds left to go. It's 1st and 10 here from the 22-yard line. The Knights down by 5. A touchdown wins it.
One timeout, 35 seconds to go.
Staley again, all alone in the backfield, 5 receiver set. Watch the Mayberry, and it is to Mayberry, but it's miscommunication, and he throws this one out of bounds. So that'll stop the clock with 32 seconds. That's not a bad decision. You're second down, 32 seconds.
It's not, but how are you that off in terms of your play calls right now? You can't have that miscommunication right now.
No. And Peterson, did you see how far he was playing off? Mayberry?
He has to. I'm telling you, Mark, he is battling out there. He is absolutely battling. He has no change of direction right now. He cannot.
Is it an ankle injury?
It's something lower leg. He cannot move. He can barely move right now. I am stunned.
Do you not have another man?
I am stunned he's in this game.
Position?
Yeah, I am stunned he's in this game.
Staley to throw, and he's going to release it again to Mayberry, and Mayberry can't come up with it. Out of bounds, 27 seconds.
Oh, Isaac Staley, you got to deliver a catchable ball, young man. Oh, man.
That brings up 3rd and 10 from their own.
We know where they're
Viking
going.
22-yard line.
We know where they're going, Mark.
Well, yeah, you got an injured man.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You got to deliver a catchable ball. We have had 2 very miscommunication on one down and a bad throw on the other.
And really, Mayberry's been double-teamed.
Yeah, as he should be.
And sorry, that's not Mayberry. That was Nawahini. I've been calling him Mayberry.
Oh, is it Nawahini?
Now Mayberry's
it is too.
in.
Yeah, Mayberry's in there. You're right. That was Nawahini. That's our bad.
Yeah. Nawahini has been the man. And Staley will release this one across the middle. It's caught. It's Robinson.
Call the timeout.
They've got one timeout left.
Oh, ball came out. Ball came out, it looks like. We're going to see what the
Pleasant
call
Grove is hesitant. They're saying it's their ball. And now here they come.
What a play by that Pleasant Grove defense. Trey Robinson had nearly first down yardage, kept fighting, ultimately had that ball stripped out, and Pleasant Grove's going to win as a result, it looks like.
Wow. Robinson caught that one beyond the sticks, was pushed back.
And he was battling, trying to get back upfield, and as a result of him fighting, reestablished that he was a legal player. Therefore, the forward progression was stopped. Ball stripped out, recovered by the Pleasant Grove defense, and they're going to win this football game.
17 seconds, and they're up by 5. They're come out into victory formation here and get the win. And that is going to do it. Pleasant Grove coming away with the win. When's the last time Pleasant Grove got a win against Lone Peak?
I don't know. It's been a minute. They are 6-0 on the season. Lone Peak, meanwhile, down to 2-4 on the year. Absolutely insane result here, but a huge win all the same for the Pleasant Grove Vikings. Congratulations, Coach Walkenhorst and all the rest of the Vikings.
I'm Mark Winterton, Jay Catch. Thanks for joining us in this KSL Sports broadcast right here on Rewind.
We got students rushing the field. Let's go.